When people like go into New Year's resolutions, it's like, well, I'm not skinny enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have this.
I don't have enough this. I'm not this. I am not.
Yeah.
I am not. I don't have. It's lack perspective. Hey, trashlings! Welcome back to the Demon Trash Podcast. What's up? Told you we were back. This wasn't a lie.
OMG.
Yeah, we stuck to something for once.
Surprise.
Surprise. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for all the love from us coming back. That was awesome. And also, like, YouTube family, we see you. Thank you so much, guys. It's been fun, and we're really excited. However, this is going to be the last podcast of the year. We'll be back in January, just leaving town, going to see family for the holidays. So we won't be able to make content for you guys. And yeah.
Take those holiday breaks, get some rest, do some reflection, and prepare for the new year, dude.
But more importantly, be with family, because, we had some family get sick this year. It's important to be with them and be happy that they're still here with us and fine. So I hope you guys get to do that as well. But today we have a really great show. I'm really excited to get into it. I saw this. We're going to do something. We're going to try this drink. I'm going to buy you a drink. All right. Seriously, though, I put some T-Pain level money down on these. The psychedelic waters. I saw this on TikTok and
psychedelic waters. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Not spawned. Although, hi. Psychedelic water. It's considered an herbal supplement. I saw this mild mood boosting psychedelic blend crafted to loosen you up and excite your senses. Now, there is not drugs in this. It's literally just herbs that basically reduce stress and also euphoric things. There's kava root, damiana leaf, and green tea leaf extract. Anyway, we're going to try it, see if we like it, and see how it makes us feel by the end of the show.
Hopefully it doesn't make us sick. It'd be awful if we just poisoned ourselves.
Yeah, hopefully I already had tummy problems. I don't need more. Remember last episode when we talked about a diaper? I really could have used one last week.
Yeah, Carol was having tummy issues last week. What's the taste?
I don't know. Interesting flavor.
I can smell lime right off the bat.
I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like that.
That's not a flavor for me. It tastes very medicinal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's considered a supplement drink, so I don't know what else I was expecting. I don't know if I like that.
The taste of it, I don't really like.
Anyway,
but we're here for effects.
Yeah, I've put down some worse shit for a good time. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. But let's go ahead and get into the first thing that we always get into, which is our Demon Trash moments. It's a thing that we do that we know is bad, but we do it anyways. So we're going to talk about it. Last week I really didn't have one. My life was just a demon trash moment, but this week I'll tell you exactly what I had a thought. Okay, I didn't do anything, but I definitely was got to a point where I was so angry about a couple situations that I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to tell the truth anymore. Because there is something I do pride myself on, and I'm not a liar. Mm-hmm. I can't lie. I'm a bad liar. So I just choose to always tell the truth. I always just think it's better. Honesty is the best policy. And but here's the thing, lately I haven't gained much from my honesty. In fact, I've lost from being honest. I've lost money from being honest. I've lost opportunity from being honest. I've kind of come out on the end of it, not a winner, but a loser.
Right.
for telling the truth. And I really had to fight myself because I really was just like, I'm just going to start lying. I'm just going to start lying. I'm not going to tell the truth anymore. If I feel like I can gain something by lying, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. It's a war. It's a fight inside of me right now. An angel and demon are battling right now to see if I should really just drop the whole telling the truth shit, because what do I get from it? Where's this karmic wheel? I mean, I understand I need to be patient for the universe, but like it's out here got me questioning it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much my demon trash moment. I don't know. I like being honest. I don't want to be a liar.
I think you should still continue to tell the truth, because
Do you think karma will come back and like
karma, and then also it's just like, you don't know, you could hurt other people, and that's not
true.
good karma.
That's not good karma.
That's contributing to the ego. We want to be reaching our higher selves.
You're right. Okay, well,
is the psychedelic water working?
is it making me a better person? The more I drink it, the more I'm like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm getting more used to the taste, but it's still like not great.
No.
It's not like, ooh, my favorite bev.
Did you just say Bev?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
All right. Moving on. What's your demon trash moment this week?
My demon trash moment is just, I've realized lately that like I keep being like, I'm tired. I'm too tired to work.
Right.
But then like I've like really thought about, I'm like, I really haven't been doing that much.
No.
Like, not an excuse enough to be like, I'm so exhausted, I can't like go work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the problem with like being kind of like a freelance, like you work when you want to work, is that getting the motivation to go and do that. And now like I'm really kind of like being a bit in the butt for it because I'm broke. Right. And I definitely I definitely feel like there were a few situations where I could have just like tightened my bootstraps and went and gone to work. Yeah. Because it's not really that difficult.
No, I have to say this year was the year. I always thought like, oh, I have really good work ethic. I'm like, you can count on me to hustle. This year, no. Yeah. I was not a hustler in 2021. That's fine. I needed to not hustle. I needed to just take a break.
Yeah. But I kept telling myself, I'll go work on this day. I'll go work on this day. And I ended up not doing that because I was like, I'm going to go work on Saturday. Didn't work Saturday. I was like, fine. And I justify it. We're like, well, I'll clean up and do this. No, I played Animal Crossing for like 4 hours and got nothing done. Like in my mind, I'm an interior designer. Yeah. This is my job. I'm working for Pokey now. Yeah. And it's negatively impacting my financials.
Well, when we're making money from video games, I hope it's from Animal Crossing, because if it was, I'd be a goddamn millionaire right now.
I'm a designer. I'm an interior designer.
Right. I'm a contractor. Like, I build islands.
But anyways, I feel like I feel like I need to like before Christmas just like kind of like
buckle
down and go put in some hours and put in some work,
That's the plan.
Because like I'm putting myself in a more stressful situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a good Christmas, and I can't be going to Disney World with $0.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No. So anyway, those are our demon trash moments. Guys, you should send us your demon trash moments and maybe we'll share them on the show. Mm-hmm. All right. Anchor. Hello.
Hey.
Anchor. Casting that anchor, bitch. Ahoy, matey. Join the millennial rite of passage and start a podcast using Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad.
We love Anchor because as Demon Trash, we need things to be simple and straightforward because otherwise we're not going to do it.
Facts.
With Anchor, you can even record and upload podcasts from your phone. Also, Anchor makes it super easy for your listeners to support you. We've used a lot of podcast hosting websites in the past, and Anchor is by far our favorite because of its simplicity and, well, it's free.
Yeah, we love that.
It's perfect for if you're just starting out a new podcast or even if you're a podcasting pros like us.
So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join us and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. And we can't wait to hear your podcast. Send it to us.
We'll leave you a 5-star rating.
Yes. All right, guys, back to the show.
I feel like we need to chug this water. Because I feel like what I want to do is by the end of the show, we're like feeling it. Like if we can feel it. Like 30 minutes, homie.
All right. Quick chug break. We're going to chug this. All right, guys, we're back. So we wanted to talk about our one of our favorite shows, The Great.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know, The Great is a show on Hulu, and the second season just came out, and it's basically like a loose retelling, extremely loose retelling of Catherine the Great, who was the longest reigning empress of Russia in the 18th century. Believe it was the 18th century, which would have been the 1700s. And she like cooed her husband, was a bad bitch. She cooed her husband, Peter the Great. But anyway, season 2 came out recently, and obviously we binged it because like we love this show. The first season's really, really great. But in the second season, it's basically spoiler alert. If you want to watch the show. But from here on out, we're going to talk about the second season. So in the second season, it picks up where we left off on the first season, which is where she begins the coup against Peter. And so now she and her husband are enemies.
Yes.
Cooing. So basically, like the entire second season is essentially like an enemies to lovers situation between her taking over Russia and him basically losing to her.
Yeah, giving up power.
But she is currently pregnant with his child, and he is like, Peter in the show he's insane. He's super damaged.
He's definitely like,
he's not like a regular person.
No, he's definitely a little crazy.
Yeah.
He's definitely like a little bit of like a sociopath.
100%. I mean, I imagine all royals were back then. You know, they literally got anything they wanted. And so, yeah. But
he is like insistent that he is in love with Catherine and that he knows that she loves him as well. Which is kind of like the whole like point of the show where they're kind of like at odds with each other. And like they can't. He won't kill her because he loves her and also is carrying his child. And then, you know, throughout the show, she's like not killing him. And you're just kind of like, why? Like, this guy's crazy. But like, you can tell she has feelings for him. And then towards the end of the show, obviously, she realizes that she has feelings for him.
Yeah. And I can imagine she's like, I'm carrying his child. This is the child's father. And it's also super hilarious. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie The Favorite. Tony McNamara wrote that movie, and this is his show as well. So the writing's incredible. I would say that the writing is like definitely has the female gaze in mind. This show is like definitely written like they understand women. They understood the assignment.
Yeah.
100%. But
it's like watching like ACOTAR or from Blood and Ash like on screen. Like the dialogue in it are like what those
way better writing.
Way better writing, but like what those characters would actually be like in real, not in real life, but like on screen. And like
I highly like, we're actually gonna say, so Peter, so in this season it's like enemies to lovers, and here's the thing, Peter is played by Nicholas Hoult, which we stan. Amazing actor, incredible, cutie patootie.
Yeah.
And then Catherine the Great is played by Elle Fanning. She's also amazing. So we're actually going to read some lines because we were watching this, and during their banter between each other, it's so toxic, and like it comes off as if they hate each other, but it's like they want to hate fuck. Like so bad.
And like the troublesome thing is that because Peter is like a crazy guy. Like he's a bad person on all accounts.
He's done some really bad
violent
stuff.
He just kills people on a whim. Like he doesn't really care about anyone. He's
known nothing else though.
Like he's an egomaniac, and like he's not a good dude. Like that's like from like that's what you need to know. He's not a good dude. So this is why when we were talking about these quotes, it's like troublesome.
Yeah.
It's like
it's difficult to, he's not a good person, but it's almost like he doesn't know anything else, so you pity him also. Yeah. You're like, it's not his fault because that's all he's ever known. It's how he was raised. But anyway, whatever. Me trying to justify it. So basically we were watching, it was like toxic simping for Peter, and there's a line, it was like it's in the first episode, and Catherine he's like keeps trying to have sex with her, like tell her like, hey, put this behind us and
let's stop fighting, stop the coup.
He literally says,
just
stop fighting and we can get in the carriage and fuck all the way home. And she's like, I look at you and go dry like sand. And his reaction was like, oh, fuck me, you're brutal. The more you toy with me, the harder my cock gets. And I was just like, sir, that was just the first step. The second one was, I'll let you do the honors. This was also in the first episode.
Which one?
I just don't want an accident.
Oh yeah, he's just like, so he's like talking to her, trying to convince her not to just stop this coup. Like he doesn't want her to get hurt. He just goes, I just don't want an accident. Some loyalist grabs you, slams your delightfully shaped skull into a wall, and it caves in, killing you and Paul. Can you imagine how upset I would be? I'd fuck your dead body for days.
Now, and like this happens, right? Me and Avery just look at each other across the room watching this with my boyfriend, and I'm just like, what?
And like it sounds bad when we read it because obviously we're not actors, but the way he says it, like he like means it.
He means it,
and it's just like
like when he says it, like I believe 100% that he would do it.
He would have sex with her dead body for days.
He kept his fucking mother's decomposing corpse in a glass case on display.
Yeah,
like this is how toxic and fucked up this guy is.
But the thing that makes it like instant confusion, like obviously first reaction is, what? Ew. Yeah. No. But second thought is just like, is this attractive?
Yeah, why am I attracted
like,
to this?
Why do I find that hot?
All right, this is what reading smut has done. We talked about this last week. Like, or not last week. I always say last week, but previous podcast. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
Something is wrong with us. Me and like the fact that he said that and we were just like, like
yeah.
Your boyfriend was in the room just like, what the heck is wrong with you two? Yeah. And you know what? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with us.
Then the thing is though, is that like Peter is, in the show, he is, everyone knows him to be a violent, ruthless, sociopathic person.
Yeah.
However, they're fine with it because he's the
gang.
He's the emperor. So everyone's like, and this is Russia, and Russia is established to be an extremely violent place. The only way that you survive the court is by being violent. So that's kind of like the premise of the show. It's not your typical period history piece like show.
It's very like,
it's very comedic and it's very brutal, and that's where the comedy lives, is in that dark humor 100%. But he's also like so he's perceived at this as well as like being a very attractive emperor. Like all the women love him. He's kind of fucked like everybody in that palace. But now he completely just wants Catherine. Mm-hmm. He like won't fuck anybody else. Yeah. Which is unlike him. And he the part where he's like, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, so then there was like this other scene where like after well, you don't have to pull it up. After he had he what is it called?
I can pull it up because I marked the time.
No, okay. Don't pull it up. After he had given away the throne, they started like after a while she like is sexually frustrated because she's an empress and can't find anyone to have sex with.
She's also pregnant and hormonal.
So she goes to Peter to like have him go down on her and stuff, but she's like, this is just, it's not emotional, this is just you doing me a favor.
Yeah, but it confuses him. It confuses things because now he's thinking, oh, she's warming to me. Mm-hmm. But she's also at this point in the show, she's not completely succeeding. She's not buying over Russia. Like, they're not 100%.
Yeah, she's having a hard time, like, governing Russia.
Yeah, because they're like, she's German. Who the fuck is this bitch? So she's like, you know what? I confuse things. That's my bad. And she leaves him. They're supposed to have breakfast every day for 20 minutes. It's part of their deal for her to be empress. And he's like, this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And he tells her that basically when all the things go wrong, she's going to come crawling back to him, get on her knees and cry and beg for his forgiveness. And he's going to kiss her on the forehead and tell her that he forgives her. And then he goes into great detail.
Extreme detail.
Sensual, intimate detail about how he's then going to like proceed to make love to her. Mm-hmm. And how it's going to conjoin their souls, and like it's like so, and the way he delivers it, and the whole time it's just like Catherine just like melting over the fact that she's here for it.
He's repeating fanfic to her, but in like real life, just like so casually doing it.
Happen, baby girl.
She was just falling apart. She was falling apart. She was like, what?
And she was just like,
they cut back to her, and obviously she's like melting.
She's flushed, and she just she's trying to laugh it off. And I just kept thinking the entire time, and this continues throughout the season, and I just kept thinking, wow, this is the best romance novel come to life I have ever seen. And it's messed up that this show has got me going, wow, I'm rooting for them. This is so fucked up that it got me like this. But I love this show. I'm so excited for it to continue. They definitely have gone off, like, they are not following history anymore.
They obviously like aren't really like following history.
Because at this point, Peter would be dead.
Yeah.
He would have been found dead, and she would have successfully cooed.
It's just like wild seeing like enemies to lovers like play out, and just like seeing how actually toxic it is.
Oh my god.
Like, it's like, this is not really a healthy relationship. Like, she wants to kill him. Like, he has sex with her mother.
Yes.
And kills her.
No,
accidentally, but he had sex with her mother.
Yeah, he was like fucking her against a window, and the window opens and she falls out. So spoiler. But like the part where he like holds a gun underneath her chin during the coup, when the palace is getting taken over, he holds a gun underneath her chin and goes, my patience is wearing thin, takes the gun away and goes, I love you, bye Paul, like says bye to his fucking unborn child, and then leaves the palace for an escape. And I was just like, this is exactly what enemies to lovers is, and all of us bitches are reading that up and just eating it for breakfast. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, it's so dark and messed up.
So many girls and women out there just being like, this is what I want.
And it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. But then Raven was just like, my boyfriend was just like, he was like, listen, this is the same shit that like, women are out here trying to fuck serial killers. We've talked about this before. He's like, it's like a thing with women, like. It's just like a forbidden fantasy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a forbidden fantasy.
Would I really have that in real life? Probably
No,
not.
absolutely not. If that was in real life, I mean, the thing is about the show is it definitely takes place on a plane of existence that like, I mean, it's not real.
Yeah, no,
it's not
of course
real.
not.
It's just there's some shit in there that's just it's funny. It's just comedy. It's a fantasy realm of like a retelling of a story. So yeah, it's like I said, in reality, Peter, she killed him. He's dead, and now she's Empress. But in the show, it's just different.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's addicting.
It's so
And the
good.
writing is so good.
It's just
such
so
good
ridiculous.
writing. But it's incredible how well they've captured the female gaze.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. Written for women, 100%. It's very good though. It's hilarious. Like my boyfriend loves the show. Yeah. He loves it. It's funny. So yeah, I highly recommend it. You guys should check it out, and especially you spice loving sleuths, enemies to lovers sleuths out there. You guys will love it. It's really good.
It's amazing.
It's got me thinking about.
It's having me question
things,
and also making me realize I need therapy.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to read too much into it because I know that I'm not going to bring this into real life. It's just it plays into my forbidden fantasies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's the same reason bitches be loving 50 Shades and all of that. It's just like, we want what we can't have. We want it. We shouldn't have it. We can't have it.
50 Shades isn't that far off from reality, though.
Oh, that's true. Girls do have boyfriends like that. But they're not having, like, Peters in their life. It's like, I would fuck your dad. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. If you do, run. Call somebody. Get help. Guys, TikTok. It is... There's some stuff on there.
Indeed.
Indeed. So cringe TikToks. And here's the thing. I have seen some stuff on there that I'm just like, that really happens. And I'm going to point to the first one that we have, which is, this is what got this whole topic going for us, was the cringe Twilight TikTok, where some of you on TikTok may have seen it, where Edward sings, a cosplaying Edward sings to a cosplaying Bella at a wedding reenactment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play the clip.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is from like there is a like Twilight Con, you guys, that happens in like Forks, Washington, and people like really do cosplay Twilight. And I believe this is from that, or it's just from some other Twilight reenactment. And like, it just bewilders me, like how hard the Twilight fandom still goes.
All right.
I think it's just had a real resurgence with like TikTok as well.
Yeah.
But like, people still be some hardcore fans.
Here, let's play the clip. All right. Okay.
Before we get into this, I just want to say I want to try my best to come from a place of
understanding
and curiosity, and not of judgment.
No. This is not judgment. I stand by that. This is not judgment.
This is curiosity. But learning from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
But that I don't like. I just come across cursed TikToks like that like all the time, and I try not to like them. I just send them to people because I don't want my algorithm to get messed up. I don't want to see cursed TikToks all the time. But like, that was just just hard for me to watch.
Okay. Let's elaborate on why that was hard to watch. Because, again, and we've said this 1,000 times, we were this close to becoming that.
Yeah, I feel
there's
like
a thin line. There's a thin, transparent, fabricated line that anyone could get to that point where they end up in the crowd of that reenactment.
My question,
watching that,
it's just who decides who gets to be Edward, who gets to be Bella, you know, who gets to be Alice. Because, you know, like the girl who's Bella, she's just like, I'm Bella. I'm the main character.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And I think, like, it's just like, it's taking that, like, keeping everything that's in here and taking it out into the real world. And maybe my mind is just blown away by that they're like, I'm going to take this fantasy and live it out in the real world. And maybe, like, that's the difference. Like, I just don't do that. Like, I don't cross that line.
Yeah.
I keep it in my head, or, like, just not in reality, like, into the physical plane of reality. I keep it.
My thing is like, when you go to that, like, are you just, like, moved emotionally? Like, the people in attendance, were you, like, did you feel like moved by that, like, performance?
Do you think they're like, I am in Twilight right now? Like, I'm at the wedding? Because, like, the thing that just, like, makes it super cringe, because it'd be one thing if it was, like, just, like, Christina Perry, like the song, like, playing that in the background. But the fact that it's, like, Edward
him
singing and, like, really singing, too. Yeah. Like, he's putting his heart
and soul in there.
And soul into this.
And my thing is, I just want to try and understand how you get to that level of that.
Like, part of me kind of gets jealous of people who can, like, take it there. Do you know what I mean?
Is it because you think, like, is it because this is what I feel like I get kind of like, I'm like kind of maybe slightly envious of that level of comfort in oneself to be able to be like, yeah, this is me and I'm here and I like it.
And it's just also the dedication, you know, like, they had to like go find that wedding dress, or like go, like, especially like really complicated, like, cosplay. It's like they made that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just, like, wild to me.
Yeah.
You know, they're living their truth, and I'll respect that, but it's just hard to watch from, like, an outside perspective.
Definitely hard to watch. That's all I have to say about that. I mean, like, do we know what that is? My thing is like, I don't know. Is that someone's actual real wedding that they reenacted? They're reenacting for their wedding, or is it like at a convention?
It's like Twilight Con. There's like Twilight Con,
and it happens in Forks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like they all dress up. They do like the baseball day. Like,
dude, Demon Trash goes to Twilight Con. It has to happen. We're manifesting that.
Who are you cosplaying as, though?
A Bella.
Fuck you, I'm Bella.
We're all Bellas.
Wait, I feel like, no, I don't want to be part of the wolf pack or anything, because there's only what's her name. I don't know if I
maybe I'll go as Regurgitate.
Regurgitate. You could. You have really big eyes.
Yeah.
You could go.
Yeah. I do have. I have like.
And I'll be Bella. I'll be your mom.
You'll need to be, because I'll be so inebriated. All right. What's next? Okay. So I found this guy on TikTok who cosplays and like makes costumes, and he's like this like model. He's like really, I will say this, he's very handsome and he's very gorgeous. But I came across this video of him cosplaying as Legolas, and I have to say it was bone chilling. So I went onto his TikTok, and this is like most of his content, which I love. Like, that's the artistry, the craft, like I respect it. But again, you're right. It's the commitment.
It's the dedication.
It's the dedication. Holy shit. It is that. And I have to say, like, but what it did to me, like, I don't know why it's like, it's hitting that cringe nerve where I'm just like, it's also very sensual. Like, it's playing into, like, you know, maybe like fantasy, like me wanting to fuck Legolas when I was like 12 or whatever.
It's just too much. Like the editing, the music, the light,
the way he's touching his body,
the soft filter, like it's too much. You know, it's just like
you're crossing a line for me. I don't know.
It's the angelic music playing in the background. I don't know what about it. It's just like weird.
It's off-putting.
It's off. Because the guy's attractive. Like
again, I say this with nothing but love. I respect the fuck out of it. He makes this shit.
Yeah.
He makes it. And he look at his body. It's amazing. Like he cares. He cares about it. But it is the level of this is his life. This is life work.
Yeah, and I think that's like, honestly, that's more acceptable to me than the Twilight one.
Okay, all right. So we have a cringe meter.
Yeah,
Twilight's down here
because he's playing into like, you know, like
I wish we had a meter,
a graph.
Yeah, a graph
of cringe.
Yeah, a graph of cringe.
Because like that, I can see like it makes sense. There's so much simping on TikTok, dude. Like so much simping. So I can see like. And like people really love like Legolas's like dad, like on TikTok too.
Fuck,
so
there's
like,
even people who like that fish from Finding Nemo.
Yeah, so it's just like the level of simping. Like I can understand where he's playing into with that, and where people would like actually like that content.
Yeah,
and stuff. The Twilight one, I still don't understand. It's just cringy.
Yeah. The singing is.
It's just not likable.
Yeah. I think what's upsetting me is that triggered something in me. It's nothing to do with him. It triggered something in me. And that's what I think I'm trying to say. Is it like hit a switch in me. We have another Twilight one. All right. I almost don't even want to watch this. POV drawing session with Dr. Cullen. Jesus Christ.
And it's Charlie.
And it's like, you know, that one's like fine. Because it ends up being a joke about Daddy Charlie.
Yeah. That's mild cringe for me.
That's mild cringe. I think I never sexualized Charlie or Dr. Cullen, Daddy Cullen.
Yeah.
But now that like we're older, all the millennial women are now, and it's like, I mean, I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, I know, but we were watching Twilight and like everyone's like simping over Charlie, but like we were watching Charlie like in our like series on YouTube, but we were just realizing how bad of a dad Charlie was.
He's not very present. He's not very aware of what's going on.
He's not very aware at all.
And as the sheriff of Forks, he's not working as much as he should be.
Yeah, with all these like
fishing
problems
trips.
And dead people showing up.
Yeah, and a lot of
town.
fishing trips. He goes fishing a lot. Way too much for crime going on.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just like the sexual nature of it. That's cringe to me.
I just don't want to sexualize like certain Twilight characters.
That's definitely not like as cringe. Like, it plays into more funny.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys on TikTok have seen this man, this legendary singer. He's an R&B rising star, and here we go.
Oh, by the way. Oh, by the way. Rest in peace to all the soldiers that died in his service. I dived in her cervix.
Ugh.
Dude.
It's the face. It's like the way of which he moves his mouth.
Can I just repeat what he said, though?
Yes.
Oh, by the way. R.I.P. to all the soldiers that died in service. I dived in her cervix.
Cervix. It's the singing. Everything about that is cringe. That was a very high level of cringe.
Yeah, I got a kink in my neck from it. Do you think that dude's for real?
Some people think it's just like, he's just like, you know, doing this to get famous, and he's actually probably like a good singer. But like, like I see so many of his TikToks where it's just like bad, like so cringe. Every single video he puts up is cringe, and it's just like, I don't know if he could be good. He probably could be, like, if he like dropped the act, or if that's like just like a real person. It's just like, okay, dropping judgmental, dropping the judgment. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's going up a path. He's going his own way. I don't know.
He's carving out a new way for himself, and you know, like, will it work out for him? Only time will tell.
I think it's just the audacity of, like, I think some things are cringe because it's just the audacity of it. Like, the audacity for someone to put that on the internet. Yeah. Like, you got to questions like, did they think this was like actually good? You know, like, do you think like they are legitimately taking this seriously, or is it a joke? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, by the way, rest in peace to all that died in service. I dived in her cervix. Like,
because like, let's compare like the Carlisle one of drawing Charlie. Like, you know, like, he thinks that's a joke. That's a joke. So it's like, it's cringe, but joke. This is cringe.
The Twilight
is
singing,
it a joke?
That's hard to watch. I'm not just.
It's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's serious.
That's serious.
That's why it's more cringe.
Yeah. Now this one, I'm gonna have to say it's serious. I think this guy's for real. I think he's for real, and that's what's concerning.
So that's a high level cringe.
Yeah. Moving on. Now, I want to get really serious about this one, about this next topic, about these next couple of TikToks we're about to watch. And I want to be very delicate with this, because I know that this community is very strong. And but I'm going to wage war on furries. I'm waging war.
She's not giving no curiosity, just judgment.
Okay. So I want people to live their lives, and I respect that. However, when it comes to furries, I am 100% a bigot. That's a soundbite. My thing is here's my problem. And this is it. This is what's funny, is that I actually have like a very close friend that's a furry. So like, again, I joke and I say shit, but I want everyone to know that I come from a place of love. But here's the thing. I want you to help me understand. Like, I want to understand it more, because that's really where this comes from, is just a lack of understanding. Like, I'm ignorant about what being a furry means. But I think it's disgusting. And Avery was like trying to break down, like, we were trying to get to the root. She was just kind of like giving me therapy.
I was really just like trying to like analyze why this hate of furries, because like when you like come down to like any like kind of like weird or like, you know, any kind of like fetish or like, I don't like fetish or like cosplay or whatever, it's just like, this is just someone like living their truth, right? This is just what they want to do. Like, so it's like, why is that bad? Do you know what I mean? Like, so why do you hate it so much?
This is what I say to you about that, is that you want to live your truth, right? But your truth is that.
Yeah.
Your truth is that.
And that's like really all we could come to. And I think it's just like,
that's your best. You're showing up as your best self. You're like your truest, like, this is who I am, and I want to like be in the world as like, and show up as like my best self, like as my furry self. And you're showing up as that. And
a furry.
Help me understand.
Why that?
Why that?
You just don't like that decision.
No. I don't. And I think the thing is that, and there's, I guess here's another thing. I also don't understand this because I guess there's like different kinds of furries. Like, again, guys, I'm internet, demon trashlings. If any of you know, like, I will have a furry on the show to talk about it. We've had sugar babies on the show before. I will bring on somebody. Again, I am willing to understand. Right now, I am a bigot, but I'm willing to open up the conversation and understand. But I guess there's like different levels of furries. Like there's people who wear the tails and ears and like act like it. But then there's people who wear the whole like fursuits and they have like fursonas.
A fursona. Well, I think with Carol and her hating furries, she knows a lot about furries.
Well, because like I said, here's the thing. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I'm a weeb, and there's a lot of furries in the weeb community, like people who love anime. So I've seen furries out in the wild a lot because I've gone to like anime conventions and stuff. So that's why I know so much about it. And I also, like I said, I have a friend or I've known people who have been either super interested or sort of practice in it or like so that's why I know that's the only reason I'm not out here like Googling furry stuff, like, because I just can't stand to even look at it. I can't stand to even look at it. So let's go. I want to break down, and I know a lot of people find this stuff cringy, but like I want to point out like why. Like, so I want to show some. Okay. So like, for example, here's some furries out in the wild. This guy goes snowboarding, he's and skiing, and this is what's on the mountain with him. It's a bunch of furries in fursuits who show up on the mountain to go skiing and snowboarding.
There's so many.
It's the Squid Game music. And here's the thing. I like, happy for them. I'm sure it was like a community of furries, like the local furries go to the mountain to go skiing and snowboarding together and enjoy each other's company. That's wholesome, and I love that. But why in the furry suits? Why couldn't you go just as yourself? I just don't get it with the furry suits.
The suits I don't like they're the like full animal suits.
The full
like,
animal.
If they're just
like
wearing the head, that's
the
fine.
cartoony ones.
Yeah.
See, my furry friend was telling me that there's other types of suits that are even more like, look more like animals. And like showed me what these suits look like, and they were like, also, I need to point out that these fucking things are expensive too, like the full-on furry costumes. Insane. Now, let's dive even deeper. Actually, no, I want to show this one. Now, but here's the thing. This was the one of them. So like furries on the mountain, skiing, snowboarding. Okay, fine. I can handle that. I've seen it before. Like, I've gone out and been like, okay, there's a bunch of furries on the street, whatever. This is like, again, though, this plays into like, you want to show up as your best self, but your best self is this. You're going down the escalator. That's your suit. That's your suit you chose. Why that suit? To be a fat, what is that? What,
I don't know if
what
it's
even
a wolf.
Is it a wolf or a rat with the pizza on the head? What even is that? What even is that?
I don't know.
It makes no sense to me. So now we go into I don't even know what to call these people. Are they furries too?
I don't know.
They're people that act like, that believe like that they, I think this is the fursona territory. I could also be completely totally fucking wrong, but these are people that actually act like this. They've got fangs. They're howling. They have ears.
She's wearing a collar. She's wearing a collar and a leash. They both are.
They're panting.
Ew.
No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I can know. It's just cringe. I don't know what to say about it. Like, it's just not right. And I blame Disney.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd be blaming the cartoons of these animals.
My thing is like, again, it's the commitment.
They're about to go live.
Yeah, they were about to go.
There's like communities of people who are into this.
That do
and
this.
That's just.
I saw one. I saw one where this dude was wearing a fucking muzzle. He muzzled himself, and it was like this very elaborate, like metal muzzle. Dude, I don't know. It's in a level of like fetish and kink territory too that I also think is very like uncomfortable for people. I'm not here to kink or fetish shame, but like there are people who are also saying like this is not my kink and fetish. Like there are people that believe that they are wolves.
It's the commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It's the level of commitment from furries.
Mm-hmm. And now that could be ignorant. I don't know if that they are are those furries. Like I don't know. I'm begging somebody who wants to come on and like be patient with us and like break it down for us.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm not gonna shit on you. Like help me understand. I want to understand. I don't want to think you're such disgusting people. I don't want that anymore. I want to grow. I want to learn.
Yeah.
Okay, but also like a lot of people, I see this is my thing is that I thought that a lot of furries like also fuck in their suits.
Mm-hmm.
Also like some people who wear the tails, sometimes the tails that come out of, that are hooked onto the pants or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the times those are butt plugs or something.
No.
People wear them as butt plugs and shit. No, you heard what I said.
I do not like that.
I do not like it.
We all like different flavors of things. And like I try to rationalize it. It's like, who am I to judge? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm over here.
I have my interests.
I'm over here watching The Great, wishing like,
Like we
really
were literally
into it.
simping over a dude
Like,
saying
I'm here
fuck her dead body for days. Like, am I better than you? Absolutely
Yeah.
not. And like that's why I'm saying like we are coming from a place of like I don't understand you and I don't like it. Help me understand so that I don't feel so shitty and cringy when I look at you.
Yeah, but do you want to empathize with that? Do you want to like understand it?
Not really. It makes my stomach turn, but I'm trying to be a better person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like I genuinely do think it's important, and I'm getting real for a second. I genuinely do think it's important for us to be like, okay, I can say like, I don't like it and it makes me uncomfortable, but I do think it's important that to try and understand something, like so that I can empathize with a person. I want those people to not feel, I don't want anyone to like hurt them or bully them for what they're into. I don't want to be a bully. I want to understand. I can be like, it's not my thing, but now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I understand and you're welcome and you're valid.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm feeling like a bully. I'm feeling like a bigot. I'm feeling like the villain in the story, and I don't want to be a villain. I don't want to fight this fight, dude.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of different kinds of people just on the internet in general, and like there's a lot of TikTokers that just react to people like
to make fun of them,
to make fun of people, and I don't necessarily kind of like agree with that. It's just like it's like funny to be like, because we all have that kind of feeling when we come across something that's cringy, just like, what did I just watch? You know, like, this is cursed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This is cursed 100%.
And, you know,
and sometimes it makes us laugh, and it's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want to, I just like,
we have just we just have to keep on letting people like live their truth as long as it's not harming other people.
Especially with like the rise of the internet, you know, it's becoming our lives. And I just think it's important that if, you know, with the rise of the internet, we are going to see stuff that we don't understand, and we can't react with vitriol and violence and being bullies. Like, we need to be able to react and be like, okay,
you do your thing.
That's fine. You're not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
Like, you're living your truth. My thing is that I don't like your truth. And it makes me feel a certain way, and I want to understand it. I want to understand it, because I think we'd be surprised by how many furries are out here. I think we'd all be a little surprised by how many people are kind of like into that shit. So this is my call to action. I'm waging war, but a peaceful war. I'm ready to come. I'm ready. I'm inviting you to my table. We can write up a treaty, but you have to help me understand. I think that would be a fucking amazing episode. Demon Trash talks to a furry.
Yeah. Hey trashlings, we just wanted to remind you all to follow us on our social medias. We don't want you, our besties, to miss out on any of our content. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Demon Trash Podcast, TikTok at Demon Trash Cast. With YouTube, we have 2 channels. We have the Demon Trash Podcast channel, which is the one you're watching this podcast on now. And then we also have our Demon Trash YouTube channel, which we just do a lot of fun content, like movie reacts stuff. And we'll be playing games, and we're just our goofy gal selves over there. But you can find all of this info at demontrash.com, which is going to be updated weekly now. So go over there. It has everything.
Also, guys, don't forget to rate and review us on whatever podcasting platform that you are using. It really helps small shows like us out. Give it a 5-star rating. Go on. Don't be shy. And if you have Demon Trash friends, which I know you do, because you're a disgusting piece of trash like us, go and tell them. Share it with them. I'm sure they'll like it since you like it. You disgusting piece of trash. And if you like what we do here, you want to help us keep the lights on and spare some pennies, you can support us over at anchor.fm/demontrash. Again, that's anchor.fm/demontrash for as little as 99 cents a month, or whatever you feel like shelling over. It is the reason why we have these lights
and this studio space now.
This is Xander, our boy. And you guys help us do all this for you. So thank you guys so much to all the trashlings who are already doing that. We really love you, and thank you so much for your support. All right, back to the show. So let's end this episode with some health and wellness. This is the last episode of 2021. We're going to say goodbye to this year and welcome a new one. And I think it's important that we end this with some good vibes.
Yeah.
End of the year. So we kind of wanted to sort of piggyback off of last episode about I said approaching change from a lack perspective versus an abundant whole perspective. And you wanted to kind of go into that and talk a little bit more about it and how that can sort of apply towards New Year's resolutions and like things that, everybody wants to like with a new year, and
it's always that new year, new me like mindset.
Yeah, and I also think it's important because I feel like as a collective, like I think we're all definitely feeling that 2021 we're still trying to like overcome a pandemic. We're still coming off a lot of shit that happened in 2020, and like 2021 still a lot of stuff happened, and I think but we're kind of slowly but surely maybe coming out of this stuff, or at least learning to like adapt and like get to a healthier place as a collective. I definitely feel that. I see it a lot on the internet. I see it on social media. And so I just think it's important that we like always talk about that, especially since it's like what we're going through as well.
Yeah, I just feel like I was like, oh, we always talk about like our like New Year's resolutions and stuff, and I think like everyone always starts thinking about these things like going to the holidays and then it becoming a new year, and like this year just passed by so fast, you know? Like if I felt like 2020 was like the longest battle, like that just dragged on.
I honestly I can't believe it.
2020 felt like it dragged on for 10 years, and like 2021 I feel like flew by in kind of like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and then when you were talking like last time about just like change from like a perspective of lacking something, and you like you're just not good enough, so you need to change. And like I thought about that in the terms of like my like every time I make a New Year's resolution, or like, you know, I think in the past few years I've kind of like let go of New Year's like resolutions because I felt like they like kind of set me up to either like feel like I was failing for like no reason. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why am I setting myself with this expectation that like
I'm probably not going to follow
I'm not going to follow through with?
Yeah.
And then I'm disappointed in myself and feel like I'm a failure.
It goes back to what I said before, and I'm still like blown away that I even said this, but it was like, if you're not girl bossing, like if you feel like you're not getting anywhere with progress, right? It's probably not because you're not girl bossing hard enough, you're not hustling hard enough. It's probably just because you need to check in with your mental health. Like you need to check in with source here, because clearly if you keep making the same mistakes and you can't progress in the way that you want to, maybe you're take a step back, look at the approach. And I think it's important to approach the new year with this in mind. It's definitely something that I'm approaching every aspect of my life, you know,
because I feel like when people like go into New Year's resolutions, it's like, well, I'm not skinny enough, I don't have enough money, I don't have this,
I don't have enough this, I'm not this, I am not, I don't have, it's lack perspective. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about it, because again, I'm like in therapy, and I'm learning about this stuff right now and like working on it right now. And I've seen it on TikTok, I've read about it in like psychology and stuff. And it's like this idea of the ego versus the higher self, and which is essentially your ego is your sense of self versus your higher self is like your true self, your soul, whatever you believe. If your sense of self is coming from a lack perspective and it's the loudest in the room, your true self that is asking you to step into your highest potential isn't going to be heard. Because your ego, think of it as your like operating, this is your who you are in the real world, and then your true self is like this other out of body type thing. But if you don't have a firm sense of self that's like rooted in like abundance, and your true self is not going to be able to like, it's going to be in one ear and out the other. Your
ego like kind of will overshadow your like higher self.
It's like your ego is going to hear that and be like, yeah, well, okay, whatever.
Because your ego is very much like me versus like, from what I've read, that the like your higher self is more like collective and like we and like being better, versus like ego is like, I don't have enough, I need to be better.
Yeah. So again, if your sense of self is, I said it last week, I realized that I didn't have a great sense of self. I thought I did. I thought that I loved myself, but I don't. I really actually don't. I didn't understand actually what self-love really meant, you know, and that's okay. Like I'm learning now, and that's fine. But, you know, when you realize that and you gain that sense of awareness, it's all about like taking a look at your ego, which is going to be your habits, your thought patterns, your sense of self, again, etc., and really examine and identifying what's going on there and what needs to sort of like be decoded and then rewired and adjusted, so that your ego, your sense of self, is operating in a place that supports your day-to-day operating, so that you can continue to grow into your best self, into your higher self.
Yeah.
You're operating essentially like what they would say, like at a low frequency. Like I'll say that. I like to use technical language because it helps me like understand it. So like right now I would say like, or like in the past couple of basically my whole life, I've been operating from this place of low frequency, operating from a sense of lack. Where that comes from is like childhood trauma, societal standards, all of those things. Yeah. We all get impacted from those things. And if we don't, no one told me, I had to figure it out along this journey of trying to be a better person, but failing, and then figuring out, because this problem, you know what I mean? So like, that's where we all need to go in and rewire and work on it and adjust so that when we go towards trying to be a better version of ourselves, we are operating from a healthier sense of self.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to talk about like my sort of how I'm approaching that with like one specific. I used to have like a shit ton of resolutions, like a long laundry list of them, but now because I can, through therapy and like identifying all of these things, I feel like I have a firmer understanding of exactly what I want to work on. I like, it's clear. I know exactly what I want. And you'll find that as you go through this process of like trying to heal yourself, that it's kind of all encompassing. And that from that, all of these wonderful things that you want to achieve just can come more naturally if you're in a place of acceptance. Because if you're operating in that low frequency, none of that stuff, you want it, but it's not going to be able to stick.
Yeah.
It's like trying to come in, but it can't. So, yeah. So I want to, is there anything else you wanted to add about that?
Yeah, well, like when I was like thinking about my resolutions, it like I was trying to like really think of like trying to rewire like why I would want this. Like not like I want to lose weight because I'm ugly, I'm fat. Like, do you know what I mean? Like not coming from that like low frequency negative, like it's like, why do I want this? Like rethinking of like why like this is something that I want to achieve. Do you know what I mean? And coming from like a place of like I'm whole and I'm perfect just the way I am now, but how can I be better? Not because like society tells me, my mom, do you know what I mean? Like someone, your parents, your friends, whatever, not because they are saying you need to be these things. Do you know what I mean? Or even like why my ego thinks I need to be these things. It's like, why do I want to be better just because I just want to be better?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
And first off, this is really hard work. Like, this is really hard work. And because
like, you kind of have to like really go into like, okay,
what's the root of this? And sometimes that root is extremely painful.
Yeah, no, like, why do you think, like, I always would make resolutions of why I need to lose, like, of like, I want to lose weight. It's like, why do I feel like I need to do that? And like going down that path can be really painful and hurtful because it's like, it's just other people telling you need to do this, you know? And like, I spent a lot of my time in my early 20s just like kind of just really accepting like who I was without like wanting to being just okay with who I was like now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I'm better at it. I'm not perfect. Like that stuff will still upset me if I like think about it. And definitely like one of the things I want to do is like go to therapy and just help work on that, because I think when you are kind of on that like journey of wanting to be better, you realize it's like you're always growing. You're always like having to work on stuff. Like there's never a point where it's like you just are done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so going more like definitely talking about body, like it's insane. It's sort of groundbreaking for me, but I think we don't really think about this a whole lot, like in terms of like the ego of our society as a whole. And that's mind-body connection. That is something that I feel like we don't really address how fucking important that is. I mean, really think about that for a second. Like, really think, like, ask yourself, like, do you feel like your mind and body are connected? And I had that realization throughout therapy because, through my therapy, I'm currently, like, unpacking a lot of trauma over the course of my life. And the body carries a lot of trauma. And our brains carry that as well. And what ends up happening, I feel like a lot of the times for various reasons, we sort of sever that connection of feeling rooted and grounded in our vessel, like in our temple, dude. And I realized that I don't have that at all anymore because of various reasons of things that happened to me that are not my fault, that in order to survive and function within our society, I snip, I cut the cord and I lost track. And guess what? I gained a lot of weight. And now I'm in a place where I can't figure out why that's happening to me. What's going on? Why do I have terrible impulse control? What's going on here? And it's because I don't have a mind-body connection. So ask yourself this: are your mind and body connected? If the answer is no, don't freak out. That's a wonderful thing to have that sort of awareness, and to now I know I can rewire that. I can work on grounding. I can work on mindfulness. And so I'm in the process of rewiring my brain to not think about my body as something that is separate from me. Because if you think about it, like, I want to lose weight so that I have a societally beautiful body. You're talking about your body as if it's something different from you. I'm learning how to feel whole within this vessel. I had this thought. I was thinking about like why I struggle with maintaining the gym. And I've realized that I struggle with maintaining and going to the gym because when you're in the gym, the focus is on the body. And when you're not ready to be in your body yet, there's a lot of there's a
lot of like shame around your body.
Exactly. If there's a lot of shame and stuff around your body and you're focusing on that, it doesn't feel good. You're not going to keep going. But then I realized for me, the time that I feel most connected with my body and most grounded and most excited to be active within my vessel is when I'm hiking, when I'm out in nature. And I was said in therapy, I was like, whenever I think about it versus when I'm in the gym, my focus is around the shame I have around my body, what it lacks, what it can't do anymore, how it doesn't look anymore the way it used to.
Yeah.
When I'm out hiking, engaging in nature with my body, I think about how amazing it is and where my body can take me. The places my body can take me. How amazing is that? I can't wait to go further with this body and like to feel good in it. And that to me, I think is a really powerful thing, and it helps. And that's just the first step for me to like, I can start out in nature, grounding, rewiring, getting connected back in the body, and then hopefully get to a place where I'm in the gym still feeling that grounded and connectedness with myself. And that is my New Year's resolution. I want to rewire and reconnect my mind-body connection because that's extremely important to me. And what will come from that are the things that will please my ego, which is feeling confident in my body and feeling, healthy. Those are the things that my ego wants.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out, I couldn't switch the perspective.
Yeah. I really was like, I'm going to focus on like expansion, not like I'm not whole yet and I need to be whole. I'm whole now and I want to expand.
That's a great word.
Like my focus is like on expansion, and that's like whether like that's for me, it was just like I want to go out in nature and I want to like go on hikes and just like prepare, like try and do camping trips and do stuff that gain new experiences. Expansion. Right. I want
learn
to
something new, learning a language. It's like all of these things are things that we want to achieve, but get down to the root of it. It's expansion. You want to grow and like, 100%.
So that's kind of like where I want to come from with like all of my New Year's resolutions. And I feel like that's like much healthier than like I'm just not good enough now and I need to be better. And like I want to expand by also making sure I'm taking care of myself, Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So like in focusing on more like self-care things, that stuff that I enjoy,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff that's actually going to like help me down the road. And it, you know, it's like, because you can get into these things where you get into the self-care, but like it actually isn't that much of self-care, because like I feel like a big thing that is kind of missing sometimes when you're like doing self-care is like, is this actually helping me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's good just to like take a load off and just like, but when you're like getting into like, this is self-care, me reading a million books or whatever, it's actually just escapism.
It's a distraction.
And not actually helping you. I think there's like, we need to kind of like draw this line with self-care where it's like, all right, is it self-care or is it escapism?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, so for me,
maybe it's the psychedelic water. But I just heard this. Alan Watts, he said something that was relevant to like what we're talking about, and how you get to that point is by, he says, through meditating. Because through meditation or like getting grounded is when you carve out just like maybe even 5 minutes a day to really examine your thoughts. That's how you identify where your ego is coming from.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that through therapy. So, but I know everyone doesn't have access to therapy. So I, you know, really kind of take some time. Like it's so important for us to always talk about this. And me and Avery talk about it all the time, about how we will always continue to talk about growing, because the Demon Trash podcast is, you know why this started. We know who we are. I mean, we don't forget the first half of this podcast. But I do think it's important that just because like we're jokesters, like I'm still a person who's trying to grow and like be better and heal.
Yeah.
And I think it's always so important to me that like no matter who's listening, how many people are listening, I want everyone to like really, it's so important like to really manage your mental health. Examine, if you keep failing, it's not because you're a fuck up. And I believe that for so long. I know that pain. I've felt it even up until a couple months ago. Like, I understand it because I live it. And it took, even if it took me 28 years to like and more to continue to grow and like break these cycles, I will. But I just want everyone to know that they're like not alone in that.
Yeah.
Because it is really painful and it sucks. And unfortunately, we also have to remember that we're also carrying the ideas of the generations before us. Like, we're also having to not only heal ourselves, but heal from like what our parents went through and things like that. Like generational issues that just get passed down. And that's something that, you know, I think is really important. So yeah, I think going into the new year, like if you're stressed and like thinking about New Year's resolutions, I know it's also really weird because it's tough to think about the expansion and the healing of the self also when the world can seem so shitty too. It's tough out there.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's definitely like talking about like the 2020 was like the year that blew everything up, and then I feel like 2021 was like
fallout.
It was fallout, but like kind of to learn how to operate in this new way, but like also like taking from like 2020, like it blew everything up, but like it kind of also like put a lot of things into focus of like what I actually like, what you wanted to pursue, at least like with us, like what we wanted to pursue, what we wanted to work on. Like 2021 was like, all right, let me try and figure out like what the best way for me to do that. And then like 2022, I want to like focus on like putting that stuff into practice, like stuff that actually generally worked and actually like made me happy, and trying to fit like 2021 was like the workshop year, you know?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Like, you know what? I had this thought.
I'm workshopping,
you know how
stuff.
We constantly say like lately, like I feel like I'm in the waiting room, the loading screen. I really do be feeling like that. Like I really do feel like what happened was 2020, like the simulation broke. And I realized, oh, I'm in a motherfucking simulation. I'm in the Matrix. Paradigm shift. Now this year I was in the loading screen. I was in the loading screen figuring out the rules, reading the manual, trying to figure out the buttons, figuring out how does this work? How does, you know what I'm saying? And it sounds psychotic, but I know people get what I mean. Like, now I feel like I'm in a place where like, I'm like, okay, I'm getting my bearings. I can play the game now. I can do this now.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting to a place where I'm stepping out and feeling good about me, like gaining the sense of self again. So yeah, if you're in your loading screen, bro, like I get it.
Yeah.
And take your time. Take your time. But expansion and really identify your thoughts. It's important. And where they come from. What's the root?
Yeah, just so like things might not be perfect the way it is right now, but that doesn't mean that you are not like a whole person. That doesn't mean that you are lacking anything. It just means the world's not working out how you thought it was going to be. Yeah. But you can always expand and get the things that you want. Do you know what I mean?
And again, I also say this too, like, if social media is everywhere, and a lot of people have the willpower to stay off social media. We just don't. Like, this is what we do. So like, here's what I'll say: fix your algorithm. Because the shit that I get fed on TikTok now is very motivational. It's stuff about healing journeys. I'm getting like Alan Watts quotes and watching, I really curated to my algorithm to where I'm at now and where I want to go. Yeah. And if you're watching stuff that is like, a while ago we talked about mental health on TikTok and people like who were having like mental breakdowns on TikTok and getting famous about that. But that was like a majority of my algorithm because I was also going through that. I was having trouble. And so if that's constantly what you're watching and scrolling through, you're going to stay there. Yeah.
You're definitely going to have that nihilistic point of view where it's like everything's terrible. There's no change. You can't, there's nothing that you can do to progress, but there definitely is. Yeah. And like one of the like back like a long time ago when we are going back through like the 7 deadly sins and stuff like that and just talking about like growth in general. I don't know if it was there we were talking about it. Maybe it was like, I feel like it was like maybe 2 years ago, like before 2020, that's for sure. But like, we were just talking about like, how do you like achieve goals, or like how do you curate self-love? It's like you have to let go, like you have to get away from negativity, and it's like your environment. Yeah. Because, just like as human beings, we're so influenced by what's going on around us. We're pack animals. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're social animals. So it's like making sure your environment is good. Like your TikTok algorithm, your YouTube algorithm, the people you hang out with. Yeah. Like if you want to expand, you have to be around people who want to expand as well.
But now that's a good point. But now I think, because I was there, so that was there, and now like in this part of the journey, now I realize, okay, I feel like my environment's good. I'm like in a good environment. However, my internal environment was not good. Yeah. So it's like you can like do all that external stuff, but you gotta go internal.
Oh yeah.
You gotta go internal.
You have to do the shadow work.
And the thing is that sometimes we think sometimes we don't even think that we need that. It's like you realize that you're like, oh shit, no, I need to do the shadow work. And that shit's hard because guess what? Shadow work don't pay the bills. It is tough work and it's all consuming. Yeah. That's the other thing it is really all consuming, and it's lonely as fuck because when you are doing that work, it's very difficult for anyone to really understand you, and people can support you, but it's difficult for them to like go parallel with you on that journey. Yeah, I'll say that's been probably like that's what's kind of lonely about it, but that's why I recommend therapy, because you got somebody there to like hold you down. But yeah, so that's what we wanted to say on the last episode. I feel like I wanted to end on a high note and really emphasize self-love and figuring that out, and ego versus higher self, and just guys, like 2022 I think is going to be an amazing year, and regardless of what the state of the world is, you can operate within it how you decide. And that's that. And hope you guys continue to heal with us.
Yeah, and we hope you guys have like a good holidays, have a good New Year party, and
party. Enjoy yourself, and we will see you guys back in January. Thank you again so much for everyone joining us and coming back. We're really excited to be back, and I'm kind of bummed we're taking a break, but I want to enjoy my time.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. Like, we're gonna, with Demon Trash is like, just. It's coming. We'll be here and we'll put it out and we don't have to stress ourselves out. So we'll be back in January.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Make sure you subscribe, share with your friends.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us.
Come hang out.
We get a lot of YouTube comments about people who like feel like they don't have friends that like understand them. So
I'll be your friend.
I hope that, that this people can relate to this.
Yeah, I know somebody's out there relating. We know this because they tell us. So we love you and you're valid. And we will talk to you guys very, very soon. Make sure to come see us on YouTube. All right, bye. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Oh, psychedelic water.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. I don't feel like I feel a difference. I'm going to be honest.
Me neither. I paid way too much money for this to not make me feel like I'm on cloud 9.